Welcome back to Entrepreneur Money Stories. Have you ever wondered what's really behind your numbers? Why are you profitable on paper, but never have any cash? In this video, I'm going to break down the main components of a cash flow statement and give you actionable tips on how to use them to manage your finances moving forward. Hello and welcome back. This is Danielle Hayden. I have Victoria Hughes here with me, and we are going to take an in-depth look at your cash flow statement. Now, I understand that all of my accounting friends make this very confusing. This is the least looked at report, but I promise you by the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of each part of the statement and how you can implement these strategies in your business. Victoria, welcome back.
Thank you for having me back. I'm so excited for this series and excited to hear your thoughts on cash flow.
So it's interesting, you were saying that the balance sheet was what you were most excited for. And I think the cash flow statement is the report that I am most excited for. And I think both accountants and business owners kind of avoid this report. And I think it's because there's so much involved in a cash flow statement, but really, the cash flow statement, the way I like to think of it, now remember, there's the three big reports. You have your income statement, your balance sheet, and the cash flow statement. The cash flow statement is really what ties the two main reports together. So it kind of brings the whole thing full circle or full triangle, three corners. And so it puts the whole thing together. Does that make sense?
That does. And I think that's a good way to tee this up because I think the cash flow statement is the one that I, as a non-accountant, know the least about. So I'm excited to learn more about it and get to know why you're so excited for it.
Yeah. So I think that the reason I have always loved the cash flow statement is that this is the place where nothing can hide, right? No matter if you are running financials on accrual or cash basis, you can kind of make the income statement show whatever you want to show by doing journal entries or by categorizing transactions, but it all comes out in the cash flow statement because it has to tie together. So you can see a lot of the issues. However, I think the reason why people avoid this report like the plague is because there's these categories that don't make sense for most online business owners, especially. So I'm going to kind of walk you through these three parts and then talk to you about why I think that the three sections are less important and just the main categories to actually put your focus on. Sound good?
Okay, yeah, let's dive in.
All right. So the first category in the cash flow statement is the operating activities. This is the part that really focuses on the cash that's coming in and out of your business on a day-to-day basis. So it ties in the net income. So it's the sales, payments to your suppliers, your vendors, employees, salaries, all of your business expenses. And it's where you can see the cash impact of your core business. So this is, do you have enough cash to cover the core pieces of your business? So it pulls the net income and converts it to cash, essentially. The next section is the investing. This is, again, not applicable for a lot of online business owners. This is the area where if you are buying and selling a lot of assets to grow your business, like the new equipment, or you're selling old assets, or you're making investments in large marketing campaigns or research, this is going to be the area that helps you tie all of those cash components together because it's landing on the balance sheet as you spend money, not the income statement. However, it's confusing because it's not really applicable to most online business owners because we're not buying a ton of assets, right?
Yeah, I think that is a key piece and a good way to look at it. And I'm glad we did the balance sheet first. That way we know what qualifies as our assets.
Yeah, exactly. And then lastly is the financing. So this is the section that keeps track of the cash that is related to borrowing and paying back your loans. And this is where they lose people. Because if you are using the chart of accounts, the dummy accounts that we talked about from QuickBooks will use words like investments from shareholders and shareholder distributions. And most online business owners don't understand what that means. here in the finance activities, I want to make it super, super clean for you and easy. This is literally going to be your loans, not credit cards. These are those long-term loans that we talked about, and owners' draws or owners' investments and how they impact your cash flow. It's tying that cash back together to the balance sheet. Have you heard yourself saying, I'm scared to invest money in my business because what if it doesn't come back? I don't know how much to pay myself, so I won't take a paycheck yet. I'm reinvesting in the business anyway. Or how about, I'm not going to spend any more money until I know exactly where my money is going. Well, let me tell you, you are not alone. In fact, we have heard all of these stories and more throughout the last 9 years at Kickstart Accounting Inc. And that is why we have created the Money Mindset Mastery Framework to finally unlock and overcome these stories, to finally feel confident in your financial decisions and pay yourself what you deserve. The first step to create a profitable and successful business is to first understand your money mindset. Find out your money mindset personality type by going to kickstartaccountinginc.com/quiz. I can't wait to hear what your money mindset type is.
Okay, so that's going to be anything that you're paying back in a period longer than a year?
Yes. So all of that long-term debt is going to show up in your financing area, and all of the equity movement is going to show up in your financing area of your cash flow statement. But they make it so confusing by using these big accounting words in QuickBooks chart of accounts. So if you can disregard that and really focus on what is the cash in your business as an online business owner, I think that helps make it more digestible.
Yeah, it definitely makes more sense than using those big words like nobody knows about shareholder and all that. That just makes it way more confusing. So, and QuickBooks is supposed to be like, I think they've branded themselves as this like very approachable software, but it just goes to show that you still need to know a little something.
Yeah, if you don't set it up with intention and you use their accounts, they don't really know you. They don't know that you don't have shareholders, right? And if you're picking as you're categorizing transactions in your DIY bookkeeping, you're building out that chart of accounts every time you select an account. And so if you accidentally select the wrong account, you don't understand the impact that it could have on which area of the cash flow statement. So that like leads me right into my next point, which is, what do we look at, right? When we look at the cash flow statement, I think the biggest thing that comes to my attention first is the errors. Again, the cash flow statement is tying all the cash back to your income statement and balance sheet. And if you've been making errors and hiding them on the balance sheet, they come right back out in the cash flow statement.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is also where we're looking at the credit card flow. So how much money is going towards paying back credit cards? How much cash is going into building up that credit and then paying that back out? And remember, we don't have a lot of clients who are using accounts receivable and accounts payable. So we can kind of disregard that input into the operating section of the cash flow statement and really just concentrate on the flow of cash. So what we look at in that top operating section is errors. What are we hiding on the balance sheet? What is the credit card flow? How much of money is going to pay back towards credit cards? And if you see anything landing in that accounts receivable, accounts payable area, are you truly using those reports? Are you truly using those features? Or is there a bookkeeping error there? So really just focus on what is the credit card flow and what is your net income in the operating section.
I love the credit card flow because that's so easy to just get lost and swipe a credit card, and then you don't realize how much that has added up until you have to make a payment at the end of the month. So keeping that, front and center and being able to see how much it actually impacts your business is really important.
Yeah. In the investing section of the balance sheet, we are looking at equipment and build outs, we mentioned when we talked about the balance sheet and the assets, we might have a photographer who's going out and buying a large camera or a large sound system. We do have clients who are buying large investments. I just want to be clear that, this is where you're going to see those large assets on your balance sheet. The cash component of this is going to show up in your investing section. If you are building out a second location or remodeling your studio, those costs are building an asset, but the cash has to go somewhere. And so the cash is going to come out of this investing section as you build your asset. And then lastly, in the financing section, as you're doing that build out or the equipment, you might be taking on debt in order to fulfill those big business goals that I know that we all have. And so any of the financing that you're taking on to help you grow your business is going to show up in the financing section. And I want to just pause on the personal expenses because, again, this is the number one question we get from clients. You're telling me I'm profitable, but I don't understand where all my cash is. And that cash doesn't hide. This is where the cash comes out. If you are like me and the gas station ate your credit card and you have to use your business credit card for a few weeks, you're going to have personal expenses. And it would be very easy for me, just like it's very easy for you, to forget how quickly those are adding up. And suddenly, because you've commingled or because you've taken out draws, made tax payments, you're forgetting how much cash is leaving your business onto personal situations. You might not be taking out an owner's draw and it's landing in your personal account, so you might not see it, those personal expenses, or you are taking the draws and you just don't realize how much it adds up to.
Yeah, I think that is a really good highlight of how your personal life and your personal habits can really impact your business. And it can really sneak in there where you're not noticing it on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, that's why we preach have a personal budget. We are now, for the first time ever, offering personal bookkeeping because it is so important. We're understanding the impact our personal lives are having on our clients. And so if you love having business bookkeeping and then you have this hole in your personal life that you don't know where you're spending money, I encourage you, find a money team that's willing to help you with the personal bookkeeping as well. So you're receiving two sets of financial statements, both your business and your personal side. So it's a really great point. And then most of our clients, when they're struggling with money mindset, it's not stopping in their business. It's usually a personal and a business, right? Our money mindset, we do not compartmentalize. It is in both areas. And so if you are struggling with your money mindset, I encourage you, I invite you to come and be part of our Money Mindset Mastery program. We understand how difficult this is, and we have created the solution for our clients, for our community, so that you don't have to suffer anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. That program is very near and dear to our hearts, and we created it for a reason. Unfortunately, this is something that we see all the time. So it's our mission to be part of the solution to that and really help as many people as we possibly can work through their money mindset and rewrite their money story. It's what it's all about.
It is. That's what it is all about. Well, Victoria, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you being my non-accountant assistant here and diving into these reports. I just want to land with the audience. If you have any questions, if any piece of this didn't make sense, go to Instagram and send us a DM, Kickstart Accounting, and we can do a follow-up episode answering your questions. So send us an audio message, send us a DM. We want to hear your questions, and we will come back and do a follow-up on any additional questions that come out of this.
Well, this was such an enlightening series, Danielle. So thank you for having me on, and I hope everybody enjoyed it.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.